In this battle, we're going to be testing the big axes of the Danes against Royal Thanes. And the Royal Thanes are significantly more expensive, significantly more tanky than the big axes. So the big axes are also more, they're inexpensive compared to the Royal Thanes. So the big axes cost 450. I don't remember the price of the Royal Thanes at the top of my head, but they are an elite sword unit with an elite price. Big axes, a tier 1 unit. Royal Thanes, a tier 3 unit. Not that it matters much. So I've given the big axes here upgrades. Giving them upgrades increases their melee attack to ridiculous levels, 69 melee attack. But what really kills with these guys is their 87 charge bonus. They basically don't have melee defense, they basically don't have armor, but their melee attack and their charge bonus put together, they just slay units in seconds. So let's see how an elite sword unit with 50 melee damage does against the big axes on the charge. I'm assuming they're not going to do too well at all. So let's see, vanilla. The big axes get knocked back because they are light and the Royal Thanes are heavy, but it doesn't matter much because the Royal Thanes get absolutely slaughtered by the big axes. Super cost effective trade for the big axes, getting 100 kills very quickly and just destroying the Royal Thanes. And the same thing happening over here. Let's see when the unit breaks. Yeah, the unit is shattered. So the big axes, 104 kills, took 19 casualties against the Royal Thanes, not upgraded, 116 kills, and they took 41 casualties. So a unit like big axes is a unit that you would basically never want to upgrade, because they take the same amount of damage from missiles, they take the same amount of damage from cav. And what these guys excel at is being super cost effective in charging in and destroying infantry, super cost effective in joining cav fights, but just don't spend too many upgrades on them, because you get a bit more melee attack, but the melee attack is so low anyway that you're going to get hit a lot in melee. So big axes, just against enemy infantry, they cannot be beat for their price against melee infantry. Extremely good with the charge bonus, with the melee damage, with the armor penetration. And I like that they've removed a bonus versus infantry and instead rely on charge stats and the raw weapon damage that a unit does, because that bonus versus that was on every other unit in Attila gets a bit annoying. Magical weapon bonuses, but this a very good result for the axes. The axes, the Dane axes, the big axes are extremely good. You need to shoot them with skirmishers. You need to shoot them with charge them with cavalry. You cannot expect to send in even the most elite sword units in combat and deal with them. And it's the same as in Attila. Like you wouldn't send a melee unit to deal with a shock infantry unit. You would deal with the shock infantry unit with cavalry shooting or another shock infantry unit. But as for the big axes, there isn't a unit in the game right now that can compete with them in terms of cost efficiency in infantry on infantry combat. Strength and armor.